What's up, everybody? It's your boy Reggie Casual from thecasual.co, and welcome to Unscripted. And we are finally continuing our series on how to start your own clothing line. And we are into the final stretch and covering part 8 of this series, the final stretch of this series, part 8, and that is marketing. But not just any marketing, effective marketing. Now, this video, full disclosure, can't give you all of the info on marketing. That would take an entire class. Basically, you got to study that in detail and put a full strategy in place, follow it to a T, and stay on track. This lesson, however, gives you the tools to understand simple marketing techniques tailor-made for street fashion or any business today. We're going to be studying a few concepts that should get you started, and those are niche marketing or targeting, advertising, social media marketing, and guerrilla marketing. So let's begin. Due to the advances in technology, the concept of niche targeting has become incredibly in vogue in the last 2 decades or so. But let's start from the beginning a bit. Targeting is the single most important concept in marketing. No target, no aim. Makes sense, right? In the past, we settled for the old buzzword, the demographic, your primary consumer range. Usually this amounted to age, gender, and sometimes income status. But it was often incredibly vague, and vague in marketing today means vast, all right? Too vast, and the message is often lost, and the target doesn't feel unique or special. They don't know that you're talking to them. So today, we should focus on the niche market in the current highly saturated market. Now, if you've been following thus far, you may remember back when I said make a customer profile. I said write down an example of a person that you would like to sell your brand to the finest detail. The exact individual who will buy or buy into your brand. What do they look like? What do they wear? Where are their hobbies? What are their hobbies, rather? Where do they hang out? Where do they live? What music do they listen to? What languages do they speak? What's their ethnicity, their age, their gender, etc., 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 what have you. By writing all these attributes down, you become hyper focused on the individual that you are selling to, and it becomes easier to track that individual or those individuals down, or at least the individuals close to the target, which is pretty good. We need this core group target because they are going to be the most excited about the brand because you're speaking directly to them. That's the power of it. Their voice is what your voice, the voice of your brand, should be, and the power of niche marketing or niche targeting is relaying to individuals that you're about them, even with other products making similar, other brands making similar things, because it makes your target feel special on the end, that you care about them and what they think and how they feel. It becomes magnetic and others will latch on. It also becomes easier to get a cosign or sponsor from somebody in that community. You don't need the one big cosign to start your brand. A few well-placed micro influencers can be way more effective because they understand you are watching them, and as a result are way more excited to promote your brand, right? Which may lead to the bigger cosigners. It's gotten so popular that even big companies are beginning to target this way. It becomes more personal and creates intrinsic ties to your brand. Now, targeting affects all other aspects of your marketing strategy. Like I said, it's the most important thing in marketing. Your customer profile, or as marketers like to say, your buyer persona, should be like a friend, but also easy to spot if you described it well if you don't have that friend. Your social media promotions on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter become highly customized and tailor-made for your market. Your traditional advertisement and promotional campaigns become more focused and strategic. The voice of your brand shines through, becomes solid, and knows how to speak to the people you are trying to reach. And the lifestyle of your brand will eventually sell people in that target to the idea. In fact, with niche targeting or niche marketing, you can effectively create an army of your own trendsetters. You don't need trendsetters from the big areas. You can create your own trendsetters that become the foundation of your brand, spreading the message for you. Add in a well-designed product and you can create buzz that people within your target want to talk about with people outside of your purview. So don't worry about the numbers you get initially. A few highly engaged followers can go a long way if you are patient. Ask yourself, would you rather have 10,000 followers with little interest in your brand or 1,000 die-hard followers that have high interest that are going to share and be excited about your brand? Point is, the numbers don't always tell the truth. You can use these small numbers to make an incredibly well-positioned brand. But it's not easy. Don't make the mistake of thinking that this is easy. I can say it, but putting it into action is harder. So now that we know how niche targeting can be effective, we need to begin to apply it to some other marketing tactics that will expand brand awareness. Now, we all know the simple ones and they are self-explanatory, but just to make sure that we're covering it all, they talking about advertising. It's a visual or auditory form of marketing communication, often used to direct your target to your brand and persuade them to buy. Promotions are often synonymous with advertisement, but in street fashion, this usually amounts to giveaways, contests, and the like. You guys know what that is. However, with the power of niche targeting or niche marketing, you can make highly effective and targeted campaigns. Social media marketing, for example, their promotional tools have become highly advanced in recent years via ads on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or even YouTube. You can leverage these to create even more effective campaigns. While you can reach people around the world, it's possible with social media. It's important to use the most important asset in your business at this early stage: your local community, the people around you. Start with people in your town. If the reach is too small, then your city. If that's too small, then your state. Only expand as you feel necessary. Don't try to make things too big before they happen. You'll set yourself up for disappointment. One of the great things about starting small is that you can create organic growth. And eventually, you don't have to put so much thought into how you're going to target, but where you're going to target next. Now, the last tactic I'll cover is guerrilla marketing. It's a bit more complex, requires a bit more creativity, but it's actually quite fun. Guerrilla marketing is a form of marketing that creates brand awareness with limited resources, not a lot of money, and highly memorable, engaging experiences. In this form of marketing, it's not necessarily directing people to buy your brand, but to engage and talk about it. The secret sauce is getting people to tell their friends and associates about the experience that your brand is basically marketing without them knowing they are actively marketing for you through word of mouth. A simple form of a guerrilla marketing tactic is the blindfolded taste test. You've probably seen this before. You know, somebody is blindfolded, takes part in a test in a highly populated area, and guesses which drink is better, or they try to guess what drink it is. The most important part of the experience is not the actual taste test. It's who sees it and who the person tells after the experience is over. It's memorable if you didn't expect to take part, and you're more likely to talk about it later is the point. What's great about guerrilla marketing today is sometimes these can become viral campaigns because everything has become shareable due to the powers of social media. Contrary to what you may believe, virility, when things go viral, it can be quantified by local, domestic, and global reach. So if you're only getting people in your vicinity, that's okay, as long as the message is getting out and engagement is high among your target or people who joined in on this experience. To create a marketing campaign or guerrilla marketing campaign, you have to know what makes your target tick. What gets them excited? What could get them to engage? That's why you need to know your target, because every brand is different and requires different tactics and approaches. You can't just blindfold taste test everybody, right? By knowing who you're trying to reach, it becomes easier to study their movement and create campaigns in their vicinity that they're likely to engage with, or pay attention to, or more importantly, share, or way more importantly, directing them to your brand. Just make sure your brand is visible during these campaigns. They have to know it's coming from you, because nothing is worse than making a campaign and nobody actually knows where it came from. That is a recipe for disaster. The point is, marketing should be the other creative element to your brand. And when you get pretty well versed in it, it can become quite enjoyable. That's how I started my career in design, going into marketing, and I love it. Of course, this can all be circumvented if you've already made a name for yourself in the design world. Maybe you won a few contests, or maybe you have some famous friends that can reach a large swath of people in a short amount of time. We don't want to put out things there. We don't want to put out things just for luck. And because most of us don't have the luxury of knowing these famous people, we got to start from somewhere. And even the greats started from somewhere using a lot of the tactics I'm talking about right now. For instance, James Jebbia of Supreme targeted skaters in NYC first and then expanded. Hiroshi Fujiwara was one of the first Japanese to spin hip-hop records in Tokyo and solidified his base through that. Went on to become a success. Nigo, the guy who started Bape, went to clubs playing hip-hop and gave shirts to his friends in entertainment that he eventually met. met by going to these clubs. Stussy started with surfers. Jun Takahashi of Undercover started punk-loving youth. Jeff Staple is an expert at branding and created a niche from the beginning and then expanded. The point is like all these individuals, you have to be honed in, focused, and willing to put a bit of money, not a lot at first, to create effective marketing campaigns. Don't just put your brand name under somebody's YouTube and hope that people will check it out. If you feel someone fits your brand to a T, reach out to them and go from there, even if it is person by person. So that's it for this video, but that's certainly not it for marketing. There's so much more to cover. In fact, you could check out Seth Godin's book, Purple Cow, which does a great job of unlocking the potentials of creating effective marketing campaigns or just effective businesses. So definitely pick that one up, and you could check that one out in the description. And just so you know, the Casual gets a little bit of cash from Amazon if you decide to pick it up. So just so you know, I'm not just trying to be self-serving or whatnot, but it is what it is. Next up is the last in this particular series, future-proofing. And that comes sooner rather than later, so you don't have to wait so long. But we'll definitely unlock more after that based on questions that you guys have after the entire series is over. This has been Unscripted, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. And I'll see you guys in a minute. Minasan, itsumo mite kurete arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know what your thoughts are on this topic in the comments. Give a thumbs up if you like this video, but most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info on international street fashion and culture from Tokyo. It's your boy, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. You can even check out more videos, and you can support us on Patreon or follow our social media networks. That's always cool. You can do that. We didn't want to say it, but I said it anyway.